All right. Today I want to cover how I got my first client as a virtual assistant. And it's not what you think. So here's the truth. I did not get my first VA client by waiting until I felt confident. Okay. I got them by getting clear on what I was offering, getting visible, and making it easy for the right people to say yes to me. Okay. So, um, what I want to talk about today, there's three main things. The first is um, how I felt during the time that I found my first client. The second is um, getting clear on your offer, and the third is how did I actually get out there and find them, right? Okay, so um, let's talk about where I was at. I want to give you guys a little bit of a backstory on where I was at during the time that I was looking for my first client. So when I started as a virtual assistant, I did not come up in sales. I have no marketing background. I'm like a back end, quiet doer type person, like in operations, like don't talk to me. I just handle the back end type person. And um, I think that the biggest piece that got me my first client is I did not wait until I was confident. I just went for it. I set up a few key pieces of information. So I got business cards. I got a really basic website put together. I figured out, who I want to help, what my niche is essentially, and that's really all that I did. Like I did not wait until I felt confident saying my I help statement. I literally the key is that you just have to go for it. Okay? Like it doesn't matter if you're saying your I help statement perfectly, if you know exactly what your sorry, what your target market is. You want to have a general idea, but the things will fine tune themselves as you start getting clients. As you get clients, you will realize, oh, this is my ideal client, this is not my ideal client. Okay. And then you'll kind of fine tune it from there. And then what I did do is I did get clear on who I could help with what. So that's not like specifically saying, oh, like entrepreneurs who or solopreneurs are my target market. I figured that out way later. But getting clear on who I could help with what is more like these are the skills I'm good at. Okay. So for me, I'm really good at doing automations, workflows, making softwares work together, setting up softwares. That's like my specialty as a virtual assistant. There's a ton of areas you can go in. You might be like a mad genius at organizing emails and calendars, which are like two things I really don't enjoy doing. But that might be your strength, right? So you just want to get really, really, really clear on what are your strengths, okay? What are you really, really good at, and what could you do with your eyes closed? What could you do while you're sleeping? Is it inbox management? Is it scheduling? Is it customer support? Is it social media support? Is it automations? Is it workflows? Is it websites? What is it, right? And once you get super clear on that, and it should be something that you're comfortable speaking about, right? Comfortable, if someone asks you a question about inbox management, it should be like this, right? You should be able to be like, you should be like an open book about inbox management. You should feel really, really comfortable with whatever the task or the skills that you have, right? So once you have those nailed down, then I want you to just get out there, okay? Nobody ever started a business with waiting for clients to find them. Okay, you have to get out there, and there is several ways to do this. Okay, and I want to specifically talk to you guys about how I did it. Okay, so for me, I have never sold a thing in my life. I'm not a salesperson. My husband is, not me. Um, and I remember the first, so here's how I did it. I went on Eventbrite and Meetup, and I looked for local networking events that were specifically business focused because my target market was entrepreneurs. Okay. So I wanted it to be an event that had a ton of small business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people like that, right? And then I went to these events and I like barely had an I help statement. Honestly, it was crap. It was so bad. And I was so nervous. I almost choked. And I did them both in person and virtual. And I felt like the virtual was even worse because I don't know. I just don't like a spotlight on myself. And so I was just so incredibly nervous. But I went anyways. And that's the whole point I'm trying to make here. I went anyways. I showed up and you would be surprised. Even if you just say, hey, I'm a virtual assistant. I focus on this, and this task. Connect with me if you want. That's literally all you got to say. You just show up and then there's always a time when you get to talk about who you are and what you do. Say your little I help statement, and then see where the conversations go from there. And then when you do all of that, generally there's also there's a piece in every networking event where you get to kind of have one-on-one conversations with individuals or just chit chat around the room. What I don't want you to do is sell, okay? So I don't want you to be like, you need me. This is like, let's work together. I want you to approach this, and this is what I did, honestly. I just approached it in I had zero expectations. Honestly, I thought I was never going to get a client from a networking event. And so when I started one-on-one conversations with people, it was like, I approached it from a curiosity standpoint. So I would ask them, what do you do? How long have you been doing it? What do you like about what you do? Things like that. And then I would wait for people to ask me reciprocating questions, right? So they eventually will ask you the same kind of questions. They're like, and you'll know instantly if someone's just like, oh, it's cool, your virtual assistant, walks away, they're not your ideal client. But if someone really gets into it and they're like, oh, well, what kind of services do you offer? What's your pricing look like? All of those questions, they're intrigued. And that's the person that you immediately want to get on a one-on-one call with. So that's where if you're in person, business cards come in handy. You want to have a link to your scheduling on this business card. If you're virtual, there's usually a chat box. Put the information in there, get them on your calendar. And then on the one-on-one call, that is where you really try to sell them, right? Close the deal, essentially. But the initial approach of it is super simple. Like I literally just picked out groups that I wanted to attend, networking events I wanted to attend, just general local community events. I also did a lot of national ones because as a virtual assistant, you can have a client anywhere. Like I have a ton of clients in Colorado, for example. And then, and then let the conversation flow. That's the most important thing. Do not try to sell. Just have conversations. Be friendly. Be approachable. Show people your personality, and then watch the clients flood in. Okay, just to sum this up, so you got to get really, really clear on who you are going to serve. Not necessarily who, but what can you serve them with, right? What are you really, really good at? And then stop waiting until you're ready. You are never going to be ready. I hate to be the one to tell you that. You just have to put yourself out there. Doesn't matter if you embarrass yourself. I'm actually teaching my parents are both entrepreneurs. I'm actually teaching my mother how to get out there right now. And her first I help statement, she was so nervous, but I was so proud of her and nobody cared. Everybody in the room was so supportive and so helpful. And so just take that with you on the road. Nobody's going to judge you for it being your first time. Everybody starts somewhere. It's really important that you just get out there. And then number three, get out there. That is literally number three. Start having conversations. It could be friends, it could be family. Just when you get the chance to bring up what you do so. And let people ask questions about it, but don't be salesy about it. But talk to everybody, your friends, family. Go to these meetings, networking events, just community events, like whatever you can think of. There's people everywhere, and you will be surprised how many people need a virtual assistant and don't necessarily want to go through the entire hiring process. They would rather hire someone that they meet or know already. Okay. And if you're sitting there thinking, okay, cool, but what do I actually say to these clients? Go watch my next video on how to pitch yourself as a virtual assistant without sounding awkward or salesy. I cover all of that in the next video.